Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
This is Questions, Coffee, and Cars 222. If you want to get a question in for 223, how do you do that?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday I put a post out asking for questions. It's only out for a short time and it then gets deleted.
And we answer your questions.
And we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Okay, a little housekeeping before we start. Two things. We had 2 weeks off, so we're maybe a little rusty. We went to Japan.
Yes.
And this was not planned, the black and the green.
No, we did not plan the black and the green at all. We didn't even really look at each other, and we got in the car and I was like, get out, look at us.
At least I didn't wear my leather jacket.
Oh, you know what else we have to do is a Kia Hyundai recap on sales. Remember we talked about that?
Okay, can we do that after we start?
Sure, we can do that.
All right, your questions from Instagram.
My question is about the Kia Hyundai 3.5-liter V6 engine, in particular about the 2025-2026 Kia Carnival. I'm in the market for a minivan that balances style and reliability while it's staying on budget or budget friendly. I know it's a lot to ask. I thought about the hybrid Carnival. However, I'm skeptical of the 1.6-liter turbo.
I'd get that hybrid. It's so good.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the hybrid.
So what's the question about the V6?
Just concerned about the 3.5-liter V6 and any concerns about reliability. Look, I pulled the numbers. I also haven't heard anything from viewers who own one that they've had an issue with it, but Consumer Reports and JD Power give it an overall score of 79 out of 100, both the same.
We do not have a crystal ball here at the Motormouth YouTube channel. Our crystal ball is still on order from Amazon and it hasn't come in yet. We don't know the future. We can only look backwards and then say, okay, there have been issues with Hyundai Kia engines in the past. The last few years, though, the number of complaints and things that we've heard from people has gone way down. And the feedback on the hybrid system is excellent in other products. And honestly, that's the one I would get.
It's good. It offers enough power. And you're right about the style of the Carnival and also price point. You get a lot for your money. So I would go for it.
Okay, so what's the update with the Hyundai Kia sales? I just want to tell my side of the story. Okay, so
and I want to tell my side of the story because I got a little bit of crap from you guys.
No. I'm only telling people what I actually heard from the man himself. So in the spring, we were in Korea test driving the EV4, and they have a corporate dinner with all the executives. And Zach was lucky enough to sit next to Ted, who's the CFO of Kia worldwide. Like we're talking one of the top dogs. And Ted and I hit it off. We got along great. And I asked him, I said, there's a rumor that Kia is not allowed to sell more cars than Hyundai because Hyundai is the parent company. And he said, yeah, that's true. Then fast forward to a few weeks ago, we were in Korea again. Well,
by the way, I just want to say Zach shared that.
Yes.
And that was the first time I had heard about it because he may have told me, but I wasn't, I don't know, I was kind of like,
Skeptical?
I was very skeptical.
Andrea didn't believe me at all. She says, I have to verify. So fast forward to a few weeks ago.
I had to verify, I said, and some of you said, oh, my wife is just like that. She doesn't believe anything I said. And I said, it's not that I don't believe him. I just felt like that sounded weird.
It's not that I don't believe you. It's just I don't believe you.
So fast forward, back in Korea. And some of you guys actually sent me a direct message saying, Andrea, did you find out about this? And I said, no, we haven't gone to Korea yet.
So that we go to this dinner, and then guess who's sitting next to Ted? So it's Andrea, Ted, and I'm on this side. I'm going to tell my other part of the story after. Okay, so Andrea, what did you say?
I say to Ted, and I didn't say to Ted, oh, you said this to Zach. I just said, Ted, and asked the question. And he said, no, that's not true.
Well, what did he tell me that for?
He said, that is absolutely not true. And in some markets around the world, Kia sells better than Hyundai. It's just the way it is. We're happy to get the sales.
So I hit it off with Ted. Andrea hit it off with Ted. I'm guessing next time we're there, we'll be sitting with Ted.
Maybe. Or others. It's fine. Totally fine. He's a nice guy, and so are all the others. Love you guys. How was your trip to Japan? Let's get off the usual. Any experience you want to share that was amazing?
Well, the whole thing was great. So we went for the first week with the boys, and then we transitioned over to the Japan Mobility Show with Toyota. The whole thing was great. I mean, it was just so interesting to see what the boys thought of the place, and it was just so packed with people.
Oh my goodness. I think last time we were there was 2 years ago. There's more people. There are more people today than there were 2 years ago. And we spent quite a bit of time in Tokyo and just explored the different areas. It was busy. The weather wasn't as great for the boys in the first week. It actually rained quite a bit. And so we bought all of these clear umbrellas, and everybody has a clear umbrella in Tokyo.
Oh,
and it rained, and we were at the Shibuya crossing, and you just look across the street that you have to cross with all of these people, and we all have umbrellas. It was hard to navigate.
So in Tokyo, there are 3 main chains of stores. There's 7-Eleven, Lawson's, I think the other one, and Family Mart. And they're pretty much on every single street.
Yeah.
So the great thing is when it starts to rain, you just run in, and I think it worked out to about $9 for an umbrella. And it started to rain, and we just go into the 7-Eleven, and there was like 20 people all lining up to buy umbrellas. The great thing is, and the thing is, it's not like 7-Eleven here.
No,
It's
very different.
It's totally different.
And those sandwiches.
Yeah, they have the little, Wonder Bread white sandwiches. They're delicious.
The boys love them,
yeah,
too.
it's so good. So it's one of these places that has absolutely exploded in tourism in the last few years. So we had been 2 years ago, and then Scott McKenzie from Toyota came later because we were going on the Toyota program a week later. And I said to him, is it just me, or are there way more people here? And he goes, no, there's way more people. So tourism in Japan has absolutely skyrocketed. A low yen.
Yeah.
So for us, even for Canadian dollars, which isn't a strong currency, we get good buying power. But if you're going with a pound or a euro or an American dollar, man, it's cheap there.
Yeah, it's priced, everything's priced really well. We had a lot of fun with the boys. We explored, we walked a ton, we ate a lot. All the food was really good. We had the best chicken wings in the world. We did shabu shabu. The meat was incredible. I don't know, everything about Japan is wonderful. We took the boys on the bullet train. They thought that was cool. We went from Tokyo to Nagoya in basically 90 minutes, which would be 4 hours if you were to...
It was over 4 hours if you were to drive it.
If you were to drive, yeah.
So they're putting a train in that goes from Nagoya to Tokyo in... So this is about... trying to do the math here. It's around 350, 400 kilometers, which is 250 miles, say, right? And it'll be doing it in 40 minutes. It'll be going at speeds at 500 kilometers an hour. Just think about that. It's a maglev, which means it's going to be lifted on a magnet and shot along the track. I've been on a maglev in China. It's totally different than a regular train because you're basically floating along. 500 kilometers an hour. That's crazy.
They're working on that now. The other thing that I really love too is that if you go for a coffee and you go for a snack or a treat, you sit, you enjoy it. And so we would stop throughout the day, and one of our sons, Charlie, said, boy, you guys sure drink a lot of coffee. And
Hello.
I was like, no, we don't drink that much coffee. But
it's on brand. It's on brand for us, Andrea.
And there's something about just stopping and taking a break from the hustle and bustle. But my goodness, you go into a coffee shop, you're lucky to get a seat.
Yeah. Okay, so if you like to shop, like you go to New York City and you go, oh, the retail is incredible. There's such amazing stores everywhere. Go to Tokyo. It's like the retail is next level. And there's so many cool neighborhoods and funky stores. And the boys bought their Japanese, it's called Japanese denim. They bought that. Anyway, that's what we were up to. We did a lot of eating and drinking, a lot of shopping, a lot of walking, and buy a comfortable pair of shoes. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, his feet were really hurting because that first day we decided, let's just walk. And we walked from one area to the other. I think it took us an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half.
But then we were on our feet all day.
And we were on our feet all day, and everybody was tired, and that first day. But I'm glad we did it on the first day because that was really our nicest day when the boys were with us. They left early once we went into the Toyota Lexus program for the mobility show, so they went home. And we stayed for another 4 days. Yeah. And it was really just such a wonderful trip, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity with all of our different schedules to have this family vacation. You know, we created a lot of great memories.
So it's a bucket list for many people, and if you can swing it, it's a long way away, but Japan is definitely worth it.
Hey Motormouth, 2 questions if you don't mind. The first one might be silly, but what is an embargo and what it does? And second, Zach always mentions that remote start can be damaging to your vehicle, but if so, how come manufacturers still offer it? So an embargo, we go to a drive event, we're invited to look at the vehicle for the first time, drive it. They typically have an embargo on driving impressions. So they set a date and they say, okay, you cannot talk about driving impressions and you can't put your video out until this date when everything lifts. Sometimes they do it because they want to have give everybody an opportunity to see the vehicle at the same time, and then we all go out with our videos, or let's say you're writing an article and we all do it at the same time. We were recently at the RAV4 event, and actually Toyota is pretty firm at these events, not only about driving impressions, but putting any photos out about
Or
the
video.
drive event or video.
Okay, so when you go on these events, so there's different waves, they call them. So for a vehicle like the RAV4, there would be probably on a US program, if we were all lumped together, there'd probably be 4 or 5 different waves. So the Canadians, often we get lumped in with the Mexican group, then like 2 or 3 waves of Americans, maybe some international journalists. So they do it over a whole week. So the people that go first would have an advantage to get their videos edited and their articles all written, and they could publish them before the last people even had a chance to drive it. So what they do is they say, okay, everybody will put their video and reviews and pictures up a week later, and so it makes it fair for everyone.
Yeah, I like that idea, especially what Toyota is doing, because some will say that the embargo is only for driving impressions, so then other channels might just do a walk around of the vehicle before they even put out their driving impressions, just to try to get ahead and get more views. So it's a tricky situation for sure. So we have to respect the embargo and that date.
So everybody puts out their videos on the same day. What's the second half?
Do you want to answer your remote start?
Yeah. So remote start, it's not illegal, and it's a feature that some people really like, especially if you live in very cold areas like Canada, where it's minus 40. So you start the car and let it warm up. My issue with it is it's detrimental to the engine's long-term functions. So what happens is when a car first starts, that's when the emission system is trying to warm up the quickest. And if you start your car and you let it and you stand outside and leave it for a minute or so, you'll actually hear the engine tone change. So what it's doing is it's running on the choke. It's all automatic now. In the old days, it used to be manual, to get the car warmed up so that the catalytic converter, the piece of equipment that scrubs out the emissions, warms up quickly, reducing pollution. The problem is that letting a car idle, it doesn't warm up as quickly. So it's running the engine rich for a longer period of time. The engine does warm up quicker if you actually just get in it and start driving. So the engine can clog up, you can have carbon buildup. It's not the best for the engine for long term. That's basically it.
It's interesting because a lot of people want remote start. They love that feature, especially if they live in a cold climate and they can start the vehicle prior to getting in. But it's actually not environmentally friendly to run your vehicle either. So I think that's kind of interesting. There are some laws, like we have one in BC, that you're not supposed to sit and just run your vehicle.
But
people still do
like,
it.
how would they ever police that? You're only supposed to let your car idle for like 2 minutes. Like, I don't know. Like, when governments pass these silly laws, like you can only idle your car for 2 minutes, like who's going to spend the time? There are real criminals out there doing bad stuff. Like, focus on that, people.
I know. I have a 2022 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid that I love. It currently has a service campaign for rear traction motor cable corrosion, which I assume is to replace a cover or wiring for the Cabalegate. Can I do this at my next oil change next year? My RAV4 only has 10,000 miles and I don't drive a lot, so I won't be able to head to the dealership until I get an oil change next summer.
Oh, yeah.
So want to make sure this campaign doesn't expire. No, the campaign isn't expiring, and plus Toyota has actually extended the warranty on this part because of this issue. So that's no problem. I mean, just the way I look at it, maybe I would just want to get it done. So I have that kind of, that
Peace of
check
mind.
mark. Yeah.
Call your service manager at the dealer and just say, hey, I'm due to come and get my oil change in like February, April. Can I do it then? And they'll probably say yes. And the recall is open, so that means that, or in the United States, I think it's a technical service bulletin. They haven't done the same for Canada, by the way. I've heard that Canada hasn't and the US has. So yeah, work with the dealer. I would suggest that you'd be totally fine getting it done then.
Yeah, I don't think that that is a problem. I just think for sure, for peace of mind, I might want to get it done earlier. What do you think of the new Mazda CX-5 ditching the turbo option? I worry the base engine with the 6-speed transmission may be sluggish given the new generation size increase. I think the hybrid will be a great addition, but in the meantime, buyers won't have the option for power, which is unfortunate. I'm actually surprised by the reaction to this because Mazda tells us that the sales were only about 10%, that most actually bought the non-turbo. And you're right, the hybrid powertrain is going to give you more power, maybe not as much as the turbo, but they just didn't feel that the sales were there. I agree, though, it is bigger. We have to drive it to see if it is sluggish.
Yeah, they've added 4.5 inches to the length, 4.5 inches to the wheelbase. You're adding more mass. You're right, it's going to be heavier. But when you look at sales of compact utilities, power isn't really high on the I gotta have this buy list. It's like they call them why buys. Why would I buy it?
Yeah.
Most people are looking for good all-rounders, family utility vehicles that are comfortable for everybody. They offer good value. You get a lot of features for what you're paying every month, or for your lease or your payments. So as much as you might be focused on power, the majority of people who are buying compact utilities, that's not high on their list. They say they're going to be able to satisfy those people who want more power with a performance hybrid that they're working on. We'll have to wait until we drive it. But I would suspect that the style, the size, the feature set, and overall value, meaning how much is it going to cost, is going to be why people buy the CX-5.
Yeah, and you know, I hear a lot from viewers, they don't get the top trim with the turbo anyway. They'll get a lower trim that's a more affordable price point, non-turbo. It has enough features for them. So it's interesting because Volkswagen used to always tell us about the Tiguan. We used to complain there's not enough power. Why can't you give it more power? Not us specifically, but we would complain that that's what our viewers were telling us. And they actually said when they do the research that people asking for more power was not high on the list. Yeah, ironically, now they've given it more power.
Yeah, because then they said, okay, when they said the why buy isn't people who want more power, then they brought out the higher performance turbo one, and they said, oh, Volkswagen index is very high for people who like driving dynamics and power. So make up your mind. The car companies will spin stuff any way to support the car they actually have on sale. Well, no, why is the RAV4 the best-selling compact SUV? It's not because it's fun and fast.
No.
It's because it ticks all those other boxes. That's why.
And interestingly enough, when you look at this new CX-5 and Mazda has gone with no buttons and everything being done in the touchscreen, there were complaints about the old laggy infotainment system, and they said yes, but it's a safer one because you can just use the knob at the center console or the dial at the center console. Now everything's in the screen and they're just like, oh, okay, now we're going to do it this way.
They'll square it any way they want. One more, because we went long rattling on about Japan.
Yes,
Andrea.
As we do. Subaru recently revealed their Performance STi concept. It had a 6-speed manual. When is Subaru bringing the STi to the US? Well, 2 were shown at the Japan Mobility Show. One, an EV, and the other one is a turbo flat 4, their Boxer engine. Some people have said online that flat floor,
the floor is flat too, yeah,
looked more like it wasn't a concept, like they could actually see it come to market, but nothing from Subaru. Subaru says they're both concept vehicles.
Yeah, the fact they got rid of the STi means there's an opportunity to bring one back. So there it is. It's Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We're a little rusty. We're a little
I
rusty.
thought we were pretty good.
We did, well, the coffee helps, Andrea.
Yeah, I thought
we're not jet lag coming back, though, which is surprising because...
Never from Asia.
Yeah, when we go to Asia and then we come back, we just slip right back into our regular time zone. Okay, so how do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday, I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show. Thanks for watching.